Most people would consider walking simulators to be dull, mundane, even uninteresting, tiresome, tedious, monotonous, drab, plebeian, insipid, unexciting, vapid, lifeless, I feel like I can only describe this game with one word. Peculiar. But it pulls it off very well, in fact. The writing was great and even had me laughing out loud at points, and although the graphics didn't match its time very well, once again, it got away with it. The art style, paired with the sounds, the colours, and the story...
Have a seat. We've much business to discuss. Basically, we need you to infiltrate the Soviet consulate.
What? Makes for a fun game, and if you're looking for a time waster, this could be it, considering I finished the game in one sitting. It's weird in every way, but extremely well structured, and listen to this jazzy soundtrack! This game I found to be truly moving, and ended up being thoroughly engaged with it the whole way through, and when it was over I was left empty, wanting to know more. I can't help but admire how vulnerable Davey leaves himself with his sheer openness about his squandered friendship. One minute it's a tearjerker of a story, and the next it's a psychological examination of Davey's friend through his work. I definitely recommend it to anyone who enjoyed the Stanley Parable, as Davey is its creator, but personally for me, of the two games, this one won me over. This game is beyond anything in my vocabulary, or thesaurus.com. This game is art, and if you like art and produce it on any level, which is most people, you will adore this game. Or not, but if you don't, you have absolutely no taste in video games.
Hi guys, Show here, and today I'm going to be doing a tutorial.
That Dragon Cancer, just like the Beginner's Guide, is a more personal game. We follow Ryan and Amy Green throughout their experience with raising their son and third child, Joel, who at only 12 months old was unfortunately and sadly diagnosed with terminal cancer. Because of the gameplay's interactivity and amazing immersion, we're just able to experience Joel's story in a way that a film could just not convey. Going through the highs and lows, the good times and the bad, just keeps making the inevitable end even harder to accept. It's clear the world loved this game and appreciated it just as much as I did, and if you haven't, go play it. And if you have, I suggest go watching the documentary that was released alongside the game called Thank You for Playing, which documented the last few years of Joel's life and the development of the game itself. It's a riveting tale and a raw experience, and I'm sure you'll be left at the end as it left me, utterly heartbroken. I've previously praised the hell out of this game, probably a lot more than it deserves, and in all honesty, if this was a critics list, Gone Home would drop so far off the list, it would end up in a place deeper than the depths of hell, putting my choice of making it number 2 to shame. But anyway, you play as Katie Greenbar. Returning home after a year abroad, you find an empty house, and nothing seems to be there except a note on the front door and a voicemail that was left by your younger sister, Samantha. She says that she's gone and that's it, so from there you just walk around the house finding schoolwork, notes, letters, and get this, tapes. But seriously, I found my 12-year-old self immensely invested in this mysterious coming-of-age story, which is why the end left me ultimately devastated. It's like the writers got to the last 15 minutes of the script, gave it up, and gave the job to someone else. Overall, it's a decent game with a pretty bad ending, and it's really not worth the asking price. Why do I like this game so much again? So the number 1 spot on my top 5 walking simulators list goes to... Shelter. Because the animals are pretty. Also Firewatch, but I haven't played Firewatch yet, so, yeah, Hashtag Ice Down with